Day 36, Chapter 8, page 116. Schools, churches, restaurants needed in the cities. Much more can be done to save and educate the children of those who at present cannot get away from the cities. This is a matter worthy of our best efforts. Church schools are to be established for the children in the cities, and in connection with these schools provisions it's to be made for the teaching of higher studies where these are called for. Our restaurants must be in the cities, for otherwise the workers in these restaurants could not reach the people and teach them the principles of right living. Repeatedly the Lord has instructed us that we are to work the cities from outpost centers. In these cities we are to have houses of worship as memorials for God, but institutions for the publication of our literature, for the healing of the sick, for the training of workers are to be established outside the cities. Especially is it important that our youth be shielded from the temptations of city life. Precipitous moves to the country not advised. Let everyone take time to consider carefully, and do not be like the man in a parable who began to build and was not able to finish. Not a move should be made that the movement and all it portends are carefully considered, everything weighed. There may be individuals who will make a rush to do something and enter into some business they know nothing about. This God does not require. Let there be nothing done in a disorderly manner, that there shall be a great loss or sacrifice made upon property because of ardent, impulsive speeches which stir up enthusiasm, which is not after the order of God, that a victory that was essential to be gained shall, for the lack of level-headed moderation and proper contemplation, sound principles and purposes be turned into defeat. December 22nd, 1893, in reply to a letter from a leading worker in Battle Creek who had informed Mrs. White that in response to her urging, between 100 and 200 were preparing to leave for a rural vacation as soon as possible. Signal for flight from the cities. The time is not far distant when, like the early disciples, we shall be forced to seek refuge in a desolate and solitary places. As the siege of Jerusalem by the Roman armies was the signal for flight to the Judean Christians, so the assumption of power on the part of our nation in the decree enforcing the papal Sabbath will be a warning to us. It will then be time to leave the large cities, preparatory to leave the smaller ones for retired homes in secluded places amongst the mountains. Some righteous still in the cities after the death decree has been passed. In the time of trouble we all fled from the cities and villages, but were pursued by the wicked, who entered the houses of the saints with the sword. As the saints left the cities and villages, they were pursued by the wicked, who sought to slay them. But the swords that were raised to kill God's people broke and fell as powerless as a straw. Angels of God shielded the saints. Though a general decree has been fixed, the time when commandment keepers may be put to death, their enemies will in some cases anticipate the decree, and before the time specified will endeavor to take their lives. But none can pass the mighty guardians stationed about every faithful soul. Some are assailed in their flight from the cities and the villages, but the swords raised against them break and fall as powerless as straw. Others are defended by angels in the form of men of war.